I would like to start by saying I am not using evil and bad interchangeably. We can all agree on what is evil for the most part. I am speaking only about bad versus good, not evil versus good. Can any of us define what is good versus what is bad? If a person does good to everyone outside of their home, but does bad to their family in their home, would you call them a good person when the truth was revealed? If a person has been a bad person their entire life but changed their ways, are they a bad person hiding behind a good front, or a good person now as a result of being a bad person in the past and learning from their ways? In other words, them doing bad has made them ultimately a good person. Is there a such thing as doing good for bad reasons and doing bad for good reasons? I'll provide two examples from two people. Person 1, they are highly respected and well known in their city. They run countless charities and own local businesses. They have a clean criminal record and spend most of their time helping people. In the public eye. What's not known is their help comes with a catch. They offer jobs, yes, but at a minimum wage so they can keep more of the profit. They run charities but only spend the bare minimum of the money to help so they can keep more of the profit. They give back gifts to the community, but if they were hypothetically only capable of telling the truth, they would say something like this.
Listen, all of you work hard and live in a great community. Most of you have cars. However, your next-door neighbor just reached out to me to help them get another car for their daughter. I'm going to convince you to give me your car so I can publicly give it to his daughter and take photos to show how I give back to this community. Don't worry. I will then convince your neighbor across the street to give me his car so I can present it to you, and I can take photos to show how I give back to this community. Yes, I can afford to just buy a car for you, but that would mean less money for me. It's more profitable to convince the community to share while I take the credit without spending a single dime and ultimately earning more money from promoting the photos I take with all of you.
Person 1 is focused on doing good to make as much money as possible. Person 1 would be defined as a good person, right? They didn't harm anyone. They didn't break any laws. They helped so many people. How are they a bad person? Person 2 is an alcoholic. They never feared getting into trouble because they felt they had nothing to lose, nothing to live for. Person 2 isn't a shy person, but they have no one because their life of constant conflict chases everyone away. They are rude and prone to anger. They live life alone, waiting until the day where they don't live at all. Person 2 always takes action when someone is bullied. They are quick to jump in and stand up for someone in public when they are bothered by others. Person 2 uploads videos online, making fun of people who make fun of other people. A childhood friend reconnects with Person 2. That's when Person 2 opens up about never fulfilling their dreams of growing up to make a difference, and abuse from family has made them much more cold than the happy kid they once were. The friend convinces Person 2 to try therapy. Person 2 immediately gets kicked out of therapy and later gets arrested for fighting a guy in a bar who wouldn't stop harassing women. Person 2 is obviously a bad person, right? Or is good versus bad more subjective than we think? Sometimes good is only good because the truth is hidden. Sometimes bad is only bad because the truth is hidden. There are always two sides to the story. Not only do we judge a book by its cover, we also assume we know the entire story from reading just a few pages. Then we let one bad chapter allow us to stop reading the rest of the story. Good versus bad is dependent on assumption, perspective, bias, benefiting, obligation, loyalty, relationship, or opinion. Notice I didn't say truth or fact. What you believe to be true about a person isn't always a fact just because you believe it to be true. We are quick to view the person who shows you they are good without questioning the rest of their story, while quickly labeling someone as bad, because we assume we have enough fuel in our judgment tanks to help us drive down a road of judgment. What if a bad person did something nice for you? What if a good person does something bad to you? If you and a good person find $10,000 and the good person gives it all away to people they feel need it more, how would you feel? If you and a bad person found $10,000 and they offered to give you half, would you take it? Good versus bad is far more of a deeper discussion than a simple label of judgment. Fast to label and slow to understand will never result in knowing who a person truly is.
I really loved what you said. and I thank you for joining me today. Good versus bad. Not something you hear beyond the typical good versus evil or light versus dark that we commonly hear in conversations, see in movies, or read in books. I love that you immediately distinguished your topic from that and spoke specifically about what is bad versus what is good.
Good versus bad. It's a simple concept, right? Well, not quite. Our snap judgments about morality may actually be clouding our understanding of human complexity.
That's an intriguing idea. What made you start thinking about this?
Well, I love to see the bigger picture in things. Honestly, I can't help but to look past the surface level and understand in a more deeper way. So much more to life, right? We limit ourselves when presented with unlimited knowledge by hyper-focusing on a few pieces to the puzzle. There are so many layers to the good versus bad discussion. For example, doing temporary bad for a permanent good outcome, or doing temporary good for a permanently bad outcome, is something I find interesting that I haven't heard others touch on. It's an entirely different subject that I haven't been able to speak on much, but I find it interesting. Back to the subject at hand. Good versus bad isn't always clear based on limited knowledge. Understanding and knowing the entire story is key.
Well, how do we change the immediate judgment and approach people differently when good and bad is concerned?
You know, I think it starts with recognizing that humans are incredibly complex. We're all capable of both good and bad, often simultaneously. Maybe instead of asking if someone is good or bad, we should be asking what shaped them and who they're trying to become.
Agreed. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to what you will present next. Take care.
Until next time.